So hello and good evening, this is Ruth from Curbal.com, and in today's video we're going to talk about best practices for Power BI models. So we're going to talk about things that you need to remove and hide, and whatever you have left, how did you manage that? All of that in a second, stay tuned. Okay, so welcome back. In today's video we're going to talk about things that you need to take away or hide in your model, and whatever you have left, how do you manage that? So first of all, things that you need to take away from your model. There is, unused columns, unused tables, unused measures should be taken away from your model. And you might ask yourself, okay, how do I know which things are used? Well, the radacad team created a tool called Power BI Helper. Fantastic tool. Make sure you download it. It is for free, by the way, so just go there and download it. And what that tool will allow you to do is to plug it into your model, and it will tell you what things are being used and what not. So you will be able to have a list of things that you can just remove from your model. So download the tool, check what things have been used and remove them. Now, one thing is to remove and another thing is to hide. There are certain columns that you should not show your users, okay? So keys are the most common ones. You know, the keys that you have to connect tables together, you should hide them. The users don't need to see it. So if you have country as a key, keep country on the table that you want the users to use and hide the other one. Otherwise, they will not know which ones they should use. So make sure you go through your model and you check all your keys and hide the ones that shouldn't be there. Another thing is, these date times, columns, oftentimes when you import a date, it comes in the data format. And if it's date time 00, compression will be good. So, but if it actually has a timestamp on it, it is death for Power BI. Why? I have actually a video on that, on why Vertipack is so fast, where I explain how Power BI compresses, or the Vertipack engine compresses data. So go and check that to understand why you shouldn't have datetime if you don't need it. If you need it, it's better if you can have a column with date and a column with time. So, I don't know, sometimes you have to have it. I have models that have to have datetime columns. You have to live with it and fix it, but most of the times they are not used. So fix that from the beginning, so you just have date as date. Now, with the things that we had actually left on the model, there are certain things that are good to do if you are trying to implement self-service. And the first thing is that, all these dim sales and, fact sales and dim customer and dim product, forget about it. So all the work that you've put to give name conventions to your tables and your models, you have to redo that, because you need to have business names to your tables, to your columns, to your measures. So it's actually recommended that you go through the entire model and you actually give them names that the business understands. So talk to the business, see how would you call this, or how do you call it today? What terminology are you using, and rename them. And this is why hiding and removing things first is useful, because if you do that, then you will have less things to name, Perhaps you don't need to name them all at once. You can just, name the things that are exposed to the user. So another thing you need to think about when you're actually changing names, especially on columns, let's say that you have a total sales column, and you know that total sales columns, you're going to create a measure. You're going to create a measure, right? For those of you that don't know what I mean, is you should create measures to columns that you are going to aggregate, The reason for that is if you create a measure of that column, it's portable, you can use it everywhere. And if you change the name of the column, you just need to change it once in the measure. And all the other measures that use this measure will follow, right? So it won't break, your entire model won't break just because you change one name. So make sure you remember that. But The thing is, let's say that you have a total sales column. The name is total sales. And now you're going to do an aggregation, right? You're going to have the sum of total sales column. And you want to call it total sales. Well, you can't. You can only use a name once. So it is good that if you think about that first and you say, okay, maybe these total sales columns should be called total sales something, you know, a prefix or something. Because that one, you're going to do a measure and then you're going to hide it from the model. Okay? So there are always exceptions to all rules, unfortunately. But make sure you go through all the columns, all the measures, all the tables, and give it business names. Now, talking about names, what kind of names do you give? What is recommended or not? There are here, I have it on the list, so I don't miss one. So, avoid all caps. Not sales territory, all with caps. That's as bad. It's just, I don't know, don't do it. This is my perception of things. Also, when you have all caps, it seems like people are screaming. Pascal casing, don't. And camel casing, don't. None of them, okay? Don't use them. They are very, very good for programmers, but not at all business friendly. So this is a self-service BI tool. Your users have to feel comfortable with it. You know, you will get scared if you all see steam and fact and you know, camel casing everywhere. It's just, it will look more like a technical tool than a business user tool. Acronyms, don't use them. I mean, you always have the thing that, okay, if the business used them, maybe it's okay, but I'm always thinking like, what if you have new employees, which hopefully you have all the time? I mean, why make it difficult for them? The good thing now is that you can actually document the columns and the measures. You know, you can right-click properties and then you can say, okay, this measure is summing the sum of sales for China or wherever. So then it's a little bit easier to use acronyms. So, okay, but I would recommend you, if you can, just write it in explicit text. Why have people guessing? Abbreviations, the same goes for that. I know that, you know, it's a common practice in certain parts of the world. I would avoid it, but maybe it's because I'm from Europe. I don't know. There's one more thing. It is don't specify the data type on the column name. It's very common practice for data warehousing to have this amount, code, name. Don't do it. There are other ways to actually specify what data type it is. And that brings me to my last tip. And it is actually make sure that you have the right data format on your columns. It's something that drives me absolutely nuts. So if you have 1,000, you know, if you know that this number is going to go up to 1,000, why not put the comma or the dot, depending on where you are in the world? It just makes it so much readable. If you are counting things in trillions, why use decimals? But sometimes it's good to have decimals, but should you have 4 decimals? It's maybe not with 1 or 2, and that varies depending on what type of business you are in. So I won't be able to give you a specific rule, but your business knows the rules. They know how many decimals they want to have. They want to know if this should be a currency or not. Ask them, and then document the models appropriate. If you do that, your models will be so much easier to use. And that is the point of self-service BI, right? You want the users to be able to grab your model, use it and get insights from it, and your company to grow. So hopefully these tips help. Now, I'm sure I didn't cover them all. So what are your tips? Do you have any? If you have, let me know in the comment box. If I grab like 5, 6, I will make a follow-up video, okay? So share the tips with me, with everybody. And I'll see you again on Friday with a new edition of DAX Fridays. Bye.